Morning, chat. Morning. Sorry, slightly late here. Just having to reply to some friends. Oh, I wonder if I should have put a short on just now. Okay. Okay. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you had a good Globex session. All right. What did we see yesterday? We saw mainly an inside bar with that failure. And what we talked about in the PM was that grind and lift up to get to the 500 level. That's what it was looking for. It was looking for that liquidity at 500. We didn't get it in the afternoon session, which meant the moment that Globex opened, we took it. All right. It drove up, took the liquidity, took the stops. Once it had done that 500 move, which was basically this move right here in Globex. All right. You've got a lower high there. We now have an outside bar after building liquidity, and we're seeing downside pressure. All right. Not just from a technical outlet. We also have a catalyst. All right. OpenAI catalyst this morning. Bit of a miss in terms of like what they're saying, like demand is, etc., etc. So you're seeing all of the mag minus Apple, who have high invested interest in OpenAI getting hit. This is still a pullback leg, and we talked about this leg yesterday, didn't we? Like, I will show you the pathing shortly. Coming back into here, this is your RBS zone. All right, so we might find a print up here, and maybe they resell this down. Maybe they just create a new range here. Maybe they reclaim and go. We're going to have to figure that out as we go on. We've also got some tensions in the Middle East starting to show their faces again. All right, as you know, we're not really getting a deal done, and China's starting to poke its nose in, and Russia's starting to poke its nose in, and it's all feeling a little bit unstable. Remember, we've been 18 days straight up. Maybe I'll have to check, it might be 19 days, but definitely 18 days straight up in the chip name. So this pullback feeling like a warranted good need, given like how big a move this has been, right? Huge move, huge V-shaped recovery. We're just pulling back inside, and we'll see what we get. As we dive down into the hourlies, move this up for you. Let's move this down so it's a bit more compact. Move this up a little bit. All right, you can see we've come into this RBS zone. All right, this was the move we were looking for yesterday. If we failed value yesterday, we were looking to fill this in back to where? Previous week value area high. All right, we know that's a spot. All right, so we were ready for that yesterday. It's actually what I was looking for if we saw failures. We can show you down here. If we saw failures, this was yesterday. All right, so if we saw failures under here, we were looking for that failure down to previous week value area high. We've completed that move now. All right, unfortunately, train has left the station. I've missed the move because, you know, I have to sleep at some point. But this was highly probable, wasn't it? Thin up, thin down. All right, you can see this thin up, trap liquidity up here, thin back down. All right, into a thicker spot. All right, into a thicker spot. OPEC news and OPEC plus. Yeah, I saw that as well. All right, so with the Gulf. All right, so we've come back into this spot. So the question is now really how we act at this spot. All right, are we going to see relief out of this? You can see they're trying on these hourlies. They're trying to hold value area high from last week. If we see relief, is a lower high put in this imbalance where we have these single prints? All right, do we see that? Do we recover that and come and test this SBR zone? Remember, support becomes resistance, right? So somewhere in here, I'm wondering either in single prints or in the SBR zone, do we see a sell back down? We are going to have to respect the structure down here. We'd be taking partials here. If we see weakness underneath, we can hold runners. If we see this move here, all right, and we start to reject previous week value area high and flip this node and certainly start to break 970s, then we can think about that returning to previous week point of control. All right, to the move to 700. Might be that this takes a few days to set up. Might be it doesn't come at all. But these would be the targets downside. So we'd be watching 850s and 750s basically. But straight out the newsletter pretty much. I'm pretty sure those are straight out the newsletter. So we'll be watching this morning to see if pops fail. All right. And if and when they fail, we'll be watching to see if the bids hold this. And do we just create a new range here? Or do we see follow through? Or do we see a failed breakout? Or do we see a full V-shaped recovery and a hold of this? All right, in terms of gamma levels, if I bring this down a bit, you can see the big levels right now. We came into P2, so put support 2. We found a bid so far on put support 2, which lines up pretty well with this RBS zone. All right, and we're going to have to watch this. Ideally, all right, any morning squeeze, if we see a second leg out of this and it's measured, all right, 1, 2, ideally somewhere up here, there is some form of failure back down. So we're watching these put supports, all right, 265. If we get through that, then a full recovery. We might see a full V-shape back towards previous day value area low, previous day point of control, previous day value area high, and the high volume node for gamma. All right, that's the big level. All right, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this or something like this, and then it just all depends whether they want to bid or they lose it. All right, so that would be the early morning trade. We'll just see. We'll see how it sets up and how it comes in. All right, so we're watching that hourly as always. All right, lower time frames. I know a lot of you caught this. Certainly, a lot of the guys in Discord caught this because they were prepared. All right, so once we took the 500s, right? If we think about once we took the 500s, which was this move here, there's your sweep, there's your lower high, there's the backside of the move. There's the breakdown, there's the flush on thin liquidity. Now we're finding that bid. We just have to see if and where we sell. All right, or is this going to be a huge fail breakdown again and a recovery? All right, let's have a look at the ES, the spiders, the VIX, and everything else. All right, same kind of zone. We can just flip this now. This is basically red. And you can see at the moment we're rejecting Sunday's low. There is divergence there, all right, this low. All right, so we do have divergence. NQ's nowhere near it again. So we're watching same kind of story. All right, we're thin down. We're watching where buyers came in here and here. I would say I would probably have to move that down a bit, but basically into 75 to 77. All right, if they do that second leg, same kind of story. Do they have the power to do the second leg? And do they fail here? Or are they going to just fail this instantly at the open? We're about to find out. But is there a failure up here is what I'm questioning. That's my question right now. Do we see buyers get trapped up here and then passively sold into? If not, if full recovery, same story here. If they recover both, then we know that's a look below and fail. And that would be a big old wick on the hourly charts or the daily charts, which will look like some of these ones we've done down here, right? Like we've had these like big drop wicks. If you look at the dailies on both charts, if you look at the hourly at last Thursday at like 1 o'clock, and we've seen it again last Tuesday at like 4 o'clock at the close. So that'll be the question right now. So do pops start to fail? Okay, spiders, same story. All right, same story. You can see big flush, big gap down. There's your gap. There's your P1, 72s, 72s, 712s. All right, same kind of story. This level here into this bottom of here. All right, do we fail that for a move back down? If not, if we recover it, do they base out and chop up and try and get us back to these 714s? All right, so either here or here are the areas of interest for me. So I'm looking to see if we reject here for a move back down, cover some, hold runners. If we break down lower, we can think about ads. I'm looking to see here if we reject. If we reclaim this, then I'm going to think we're probably going to squeeze up to here, and I'll see if here we reject. And then there's more likely that we build one of these out just like we did before. All right, and then we might save it for Wednesday. Qs, same story. All right, but I'll give you the levels. You can see we've come back into the RBS zone. All right, there's your RBS zone. Resistance becomes support, becomes support. All right, now we're going to see if we trade into the SBR zone or below it, or we put a lower high in now. All right, because we've broken down structure. I don't know why I've done that. We've broken down structure. There we go. We've broken down structure. Is a lower high put in here, but we will respect these two levels. Recovery of this means chop up here again. Okay, Dixie. Finding a little bit of a bid. All right, unsurprising, right? Inverse to what we're doing. But again, this supply level up here is key. 98s into 99s. It was what matters on the Dixie right now. VIX also recovery. All right, we hit the demand block that we talked about earlier into the 18s. Right, we hit that yesterday. We found a bid. We're right back at 19s again. You can see there's liquidity sat here, which we've just swiped. The dance continues on here. All right, honestly, we're not seeing that much of a change. We're going sideways, poking out of each level. Poked out last week, poked out this week, back in here. Look how much it just sits in here and chops around. Remember, big news coming later in this week. So we're still finding bigs at 18s. It's still slightly elevated. If we start ripping up here, market will go risk off. So that and oil is worth watching right now. Oil found a bid. We can quickly go over that. Right, 97 was the level yesterday we talked about. There's your 97 break. All right, and there's the hold of 97. So you're basically watching 97, 98 now for the day. All right, can it hold bids and continue upside? Otherwise, you're going to see this start to develop. That's your level with those of you who are trading oil, right? We've got to get through these mags quickly because we're going to run out of time. Apple, all right, less affected than the rest of the mag. Why? Because it's not in the AI race like everyone else, all right? So still inside its range from the last week or so. If you just look left, we're still inside this range. Nothing's changed. Still holding dips at the bottom side of the range. Amazon slapped, all right? Big gap down on that AI news, all right? Losing yesterday's range. Think about that. New high, base out, losing yesterday's range into this pool of liquidity here now. And you're going to see this same story across the board now. Google, same story, failing to make a new high, loses its range, comes down into where it's last found a bid. All right, so do pops fail or do we recover? That's same as the Qs, right? This is why we're moving this way right now. Meta, same story, 1, 2, 3 drives, lose its range, come back down into where it's last found support. If it starts losing this in Meta, we rotate. But this, you can see, very big rotation in here, fairly tight range, like $5 to $6 range. Microsoft, holy moly, that print yesterday is kind of wild. Still not really doing much, to be honest. That is not looking too good. That's a no touch for me, but definitely 3 drives. If we start to lose 14s, that's where we can open up down to this high volume node, down to the 400s. Nvidia, all right, there's your breakout. So new highs. All right, there's your new highs on Nvidia coming into some of the cool walls. We've come right back in after taking those new highs yesterday. All right, but we are into demand. So do buyers want to support this bid here? We can put a price alert down here in case we start to lose this early. That is not an alert. Can we put a price alert here, please? There we go. All right, so I'd be watching Nvidia. Do they hold this? All right, do they sweep this? Do they hold this? Or do they fail and reject? Upside, you'd be watching into sort of 12s to 14, somewhere in there, if there's a squeeze up early in the morning. But again, heavy on the AI news, heavy on that news. Tesla, same story, heavy on that news. Good push yesterday, still into rotation here. So less interested than some of the other stocks, starting to find a bit of a bid. You are seeing weakness in the broader names, like Oracle got absolutely slammed on that news. People worried about its exposure to all of this. We talked about this, I think it was end of last year when we started playing in this. I said it's probably one of my least favorite names in the space. In terms of discount, it's one of my most favorite names. In terms of sentiment, one of my least favorite names. But we'll see if Oracle holds 160s. If it can, maybe there's that upshoot. But if the market starts to roll off, you have to be careful. You don't want to be holding a dumpster fire in this market. All right, that is pretty much it. That should have you covered. I would say overnight, we did create a bit of a range here. We can just put it on just from here for a second, just so you can see it. It's worth noting, right, this range down here. You can see these gray boxes, the blue box, and these gray boxes below. These are like your overnight levels, and then up here as well. So we know that this is a level. We can just stick this on. We already know it is from the P1. So just be aware of those levels because we have created some structure here overnight. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we get here this morning. How long we got left? Just under a minute, so I'm going to have a sip of the coffee. Let this market shake out at the open. I'd like to see a giant squeeze, to be honest. I'd like this thing to just rip straight back up like this. This would be great. All the way up here would be fantastic. It's very, very volatile, folks. So be careful, be cautious. Dropping them up. No, that's the last thing I want to see. I don't really want to see that. I'd like to see it push up and fill the imbalances above first and the single prints and see if we get a rejection. But, you know, we're going to find out soon enough. We're going to find out soon enough. So let's see what we get. Market's been very, very resilient. Is this a dip which gets bought into again or not? We are about to find out. Here comes your open. Let's put some volume on it. Right, I'm interested somewhere up here if possible, rather than just a failure straight down here. Please don't just fail straight down. This is the last thing I wanted to see. I said to the team, I really don't want to see straight failures at the open. It's going to make it hard to join in. But that pre-market shove might have been it. So back into this blue box. All of the mag heavy, 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 other than Apple, like we talked about. Bit of a dumpster fire. It would be nice if we could get a pop, but it doesn't look like it at the moment. This is very heavy selling on this tape right now. So just going to have to see if there's a way of getting involved if we start to break down here. That pre-market, that was it. That was it. So I'm going to have to let this build out liquidity. It would have been nice if it did at the open and just let it up a little bit more. So we'll watch these nodes now as they start to rotate through all of this. We've now got levels to play against, which is sweet. And let's watch how we return into 25s here. If they're going to do this drop and hold. That low volume node reacted very strong there. Looking for a way of getting short here this morning, as we talked about. That's a big... I have to play this break. Are they going to force me to play a breakdown under all this? It's the last thing I want to do, but I might be forced. So this low volume node just reacted very, very strongly. We wanted shorts up here if possible. That pre-market shove was it. I'm not going to short in this demand box. All right, so I'm going to let this build out for a minute now, and we just see. So ES under both VWAPs, rejecting so that Sunday low off that open print. So we shoved up to the Sunday low. Little poke above it failed. 5-day moving average failed. Remember, so we're hanging around the 5-day like we talk about. Upper bowl to 5-day, upper bowl to 5-day. Right, back into this low volume node. Again, I'd love a lift up here. I might be dreaming to get that, but that's what I'd love. I'd love a lift up there. This is demand, so I don't want to short into demand. I'll short if we break down underneath all of this, if it forces me to short down there, but I'd much rather see this lift up here and offer me the short up here. So coming back to that New York Open. Give you a readout on the Mac. Tesla 0.20% down, Nvidia 2.66% down, Microsoft 0.5% down, Meta 0.80% down, Google 0.77% down, Amazon 1.35% down, Apple 0.71% up. Right back up to this New York Open. Maybe I will get the move I wanted. Maybe some of you were willing to buy the dips in there in demand. Like I said, I'm not going to short demand. I'll short if we break down underneath it all. But here we go, right into this New York Open. And a little bit stuck up here again. There's lots of liquidity higher at 75. I'm just going to have to let this shake out. There's so many orders on this book right now. Do they defend New York Open and do we just build a range down here for the day, which would be worst case scenario, I would say. This would be worst case scenario. It's a good hold of overnight VPOC though, which is down here. It's a good hold of it. Basically 27,100. Let's see. Remember, this is the RBS zone. Bulls are protecting this. So this is your overnight sort of pivot, this grey box. If they start getting above this, like we talked about, there are single prints in here. All right, and these are the areas where I'm interested in shorting. Ideally up here, but anywhere in here, I'm interested in taking short and cover and cover. Ideally, if we can get going for a squeeze out. I think it's got it in it. We did, what did we trap pre-market? We trapped a little bit pre-market, but not a lot. So hopefully we can squeeze out here and offer me this trade. No voice. There's definitely voice, mate. There's definitely voice. I can see it. Right, 75, like I said, there's liquidity here and then all the way up at 250. These are the single prints. Remember, I'm watching these hourlies. These are the single prints. Look how thin we got in here. From sort of 250 to 180. All right, up towards the 200. Remember, VWAP's way up here right now. So we're trapped between New York VWAP. So New York traders are trying to bid. Overnight traders were in the sell. We're trapped between the two. That's been the story for a while now at these opens. Rejection up there. They're still supporting this bid here at 150. There's sellers coming in here at 150. Big seller coming in here at 150. There's still liquidity up towards 200 right now. So that seller's still getting absorbed. This has got to lift higher. I just want to see some like acceleration out. I'm not in the longs. I'm going to wait to see if the sell sets up for me. Maybe it's silly not to be playing long here. Probably is, to be honest, given that that's a pullback that's held demand. Probably could have focused on the long and then played the short, but we'll see. They're still trying to lift here. Like I said, 200 to 250. There's lots of liquidity sat up there at the moment. ES into previous day low. So this is Sunday's low right now. ES is banging on. We're nowhere near that on the Qs. We'd have to trade like right up to 300s to get anywhere near that level. So there's the poke above the high. We would like this to move higher though. There's bids coming in at 60s trying to support. We'd like a squeeze higher before we think about doing anything. Remember, singles above. And we know the seller came in at 55. All right, so he's currently a little bit caught there. They're still supporting this bid at 62s for now. Still lots of liquidity above, folks. There is a lot of liquidity above for them to go and fill if they want to do it. So I'm hoping they can squeeze out and just rip it up. Faster the better. Still bid support at 62s and 60s. Come on, up you go. I'm not trying to trade the long. I just want it to accelerate out and trap buyers. ES back inside of yesterday's bar at the moment. VIX trading back downside under the 19s, trading at 1850s right now. So very similar to yesterday at the moment. Here we go, is the acceleration. Let's see if they can start lifting. Look at all these bids coming in. So they're trying to support it. This would be the target up here if they can get it, and then I'm interested. Maybe some of you are long. Trump tweeting, is he actually? Plunge control. Plunge control activated. OpenAI says its business is firing on all cylinders. OpenAI says business is thriving. Okay, so you're seeing like the complete opposite to what it had this morning. What did Trump say 7 minutes ago? Iran just informed us that they're in a state of collapse. They want to open the strait as soon as possible as they try and figure out leadership situation, which I believe they will be able to do. I'm good, thank you. So there you go. Believe that if you will. I'll believe all of that when pen's put to paper. We've heard that about a million times now. Yes, we've won the war, they're finished. We're going to open the strait. Okay, open it then. Words are cheap at this point, I think, with this war. I think we need action for the market to be able to put stuff into practice, you know. Right, back to this New York Open. We're holding above the New York Open at the moment. We have trapped a few bulls up here. It's not gone quite as high as I would like to see, but I'm interested. I would like to see us move higher into these single prints if possible. Somewhere up here would be great. Still they're holding the New York Open. Still that seller is trapped at 54s. New York Open again, New York Open, New York Open. If we fail back inside and if we fail 55s and 54s, oh, it will perk my interest. We just tapped into that seller at 55s who's still caught for now. If we start to lose that bid like here, I'll be interested. I'm watching this carefully now. I would have liked us to go much, much higher this morning, to be honest. I'd love a lift up here. Like 200, 230, 260 would be ideal. But we're starting to sort of stall out here for a minute. Be careful in these overnight ranges if I do look at it. But at the moment, we're still above that seller at 55s. So he's still uncomfortable, so there's nothing to do yet. But we definitely caught a few buyers above 75, above here. So that's the rotation, 75 to 55 at the moment while they figure it out. Ideally, we go higher because it would give us more range, more size away from the range. Words is all the market needs for all-time highs. I don't think so, mate. I think we've priced a lot in. If you look at yesterday, it was the lowest volume day we've had in a very, very long time. And with the Fed coming out this week, and that'll be the last time Powell speaks. Historically, after we change Fed, we go into a sell. It doesn't mean we have to do the same, but you know, I think we've priced in a lot already. Here we go. So here's the lift that I was looking for. So let's see how we act up here. Maybe some of you are long from here. You want to be trimming some into VWAP and up here into 270s, 260s, and then definitely if we fill the gap, you want to be paying yourself. If we recover the gap, then there'll obviously be no short. That would be a V-shaped recovery again, and we'll come right into this block. But that's what I'm going to wait for. Maybe I should have bought that dip this morning. There we go, on the RBS zone. All right, so here comes VWAP. Lots of sellers are trying here and getting themselves stuck. And above VWAP, we're thinking about the 265s, okay? I'm looking for an overextension and buyers to get over exuberant, and then I'm going to look to try and fade this back down into the range that we've just left because we're starting to get thin. So I'm interested in the fade back to 75s as the first point if and when this thing is done. I'm just marking out 75 so I can remember it. We can do the same here. Right, because we've got a big node there. Can we mark that out? Trading View. Thank you very much. All right, here's VWAP. So through VWAP, we will go 265s. And through that, we could go 390s today. 360s, is it? Sorry. 390s. We'll see. But somewhere in here, I'm looking to see if buyers get over exuberant. Who's this guy up here? He's at 75s. There's still bids coming in trying to support this big move up at the moment. So we're just tagging around VWAP for now. I'm interested. There's a seller coming in. He's being absorbed for now into 25s. Watching this carefully now. Still some bids at 200 right now. Watching this very carefully if we're going to start to let go. This is into the first imbalance at 25s. So this last seller came in at 15s. That's his pain point, and under there 204s. Still some bids on the tape here. Okay, let's have a look if pops start to fail. 200s, 212s, 250s, 275s. So I'm watching those levels, watching if pops fail here. ES just hit its SBR zone as well and rejected it. We are not quite there yet for Qs, but ES has come into that. If I show you. All right, think about this guy here. ES is like starting to reject out of these, in front of these. And if we zoom sideways, this as well. All right, so we're not quite there on the Qs yet, but we're getting there. So if you've been long, I'd start paying yourself, like we said. Your targets for the longs, if they held, oh, that's actually a fantastic move this morning. I didn't realize so big. 200 odd points up to here, 200, 250 points. Pay yourself some into VWAP and you can hold to see if you get extensions. Into 65s. All right, here's the failures. Opening range now set. I'm watching 24s to see if they start rejecting 24s. ES is rejecting that RBS zone. If we go through 24s, then there's no play. Because of 324s, then I think we go 60s. We lift 24s here. Watching this seller who got stuck at 205. Still nothing. Come on, you got to come up to 24s and show me. There's a seller starting to walk down. Oh, he's spoofing. It's the same guy as yesterday. Who's this 100 lot flashing around? He's at 62s now. He was just at 20s. He's left 62s now. All right, we've got a major spoofer on the tape again. Same size as yesterday, same player. So I'm watching to see if we fail this node or recover it. I'd really like up here, but we're up high enough where it's perked my interest, especially with how ES is acting. Starting to see some failures come in here. This is the 200 psychological level. Remember, there's a seller got stuck at 204s. If we trade under that, he's back comfortable. Still holding that seller at the moment. He's still uncomfortable. Here's the lift towards 24, 25s. This is what I'm watching. If we rip through this, there's no trade. ES into VWAP. High volume node above it. It will go positive gamma if ES starts getting above that 180. Okay, no trade here. Straight back through it. Still we wait. Still we wait. Sellers coming on there. They're a little late to join. Don't like what I'm seeing here. It's just starting to go sideways now. Peter out. Which means we can build for a new leg. That high volume node on ES is key. We basically on ES is already equivalent of up here. So the divergence, again, massive. Another day of huge divergence. Huge. We pump now. I mean, you've already pumped, mate. Like, you've pumped. Look at this. You've already been pumping. Maybe you squeeze higher, but like you're already in it. We're already in it. We failed to break down. We're in the pump. We're coming back to these levels. If we get through this, yes, we can clear liquidity above, but we just have to see how we act into here at the moment. One level at a time, eh? We just take one level at a time. The divergence is massive. Massive. Microsoft red to green. Tesla's not too far away, so they're all going full recovery at the moment. Well, they're trying to. Nvidia's not, and Oracle's not, but they're recovering a bit. But that OpenAI news trying to save the market, saying, "Hey, we're doing really good." After the hit piece this morning. Let's see if there's anything else. You're getting lots of news out of OpenAI. Okay, opening range high here. ES still not through that 180. Like I said, we go positive gamma above that. Straight squeezer. So huge range. Watching the H1. H1's now recovered all single prints. The next level for it to come and test really is basically 300s. So 265 and basically 300s is the next level for it to come and test. And if they bid and hold 20s here, they can keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. Yeah, still struggling up there. Oh, I'm going to regret not buying that dip, aren't I? Because we are going to chop, I think. We're not seeing the overextension sellers. Oh, here are the sellers. Here they are. Oh, they just woke up. Still absorbing, though. Here the sellers are. Okay, same levels that I'm watching then. Someone just woke up. So big reaction off that 180 on ES, that high volume node on ES. Huge reaction. Markets, books thinned out a bit here. We do have news coming, top of the hour. Just check that, right? We do. I just made that up. Yes, top of the hour. Okay, watching if we leave this node or not. Still absorbing. Still a bid non-stop. Still absorbing. We've got to leave this node and we've got to get under 15s for me to be interested. I don't really want to force it. I'm like looking at it being like, if we're just going to base here, this is not what I'd want to see for a short. This is the opposite of what I'd want to see for a short. Oi. We'll see. We'll see if we leave this or not. We'll see. ES now. Day 1 million. ES stuck between its two VWAPs. Look at that. It's compacting between the 24-hour and the New York. How many days in a row are we going to see that where we can't get alignment and we just go morning session inside them and then just stop? And then just stop. Starting to struggle a little bit at this node, but I'm not seeing sellers walk down. And it's another day of not seeing them walk down. They came in for a moment. We're not seeing them walk down again yet. Still, like, there's still bids here. 200, 187, 175, lots of bids here. No follow through, no one willing to defend a level right now. That H1 is driving right back up to current week value area low. We're still thin until we get to 305s, really. Are we stuck between the two? Yeah, we're doing the same dance. All right, there's the leave of 225s. Lots of imbalances below here. Here's the first leave of it. Here's into where these sellers. This is the first imbalance getting tagged here into 200s. If they lose this, we're going to go straight back down to 175. And sellers will now need to defend that node above. So this is what I was looking for. So we have to see now. That's the first reaction. Are they willing to defend? Are they willing to defend 225s, or is this absorbed for new highs? So this is what I'm watching now. Need to see if pop start to fail here, or if they just absorb and they just want to run a new leg. ES right back into its New York Open already. Here we go. Small. I've got a small piece on here because we're starting to fail that 205 level. And I'm not going to give it room. If we start breaking back above, I'm going to cut it and then re-add up at 220s, 225s. Here we go. So looking for this move down to 175 for my first partial, if possible. Otherwise, we're just going to hold these imbalances. So I'm watching these imbalances here. Oh, don't move that. All right, so we're leaving this node. We're probably going to come down towards this node. I want to see if these buyers are still here. Here we come. I really don't want to take anything off yet. Can we come test 75s? Move my stop into the money a little bit. And if we lose 75s, then we can come right back down into this. Here we go. All right, peeling a bit off here. Oh, I had to be patient for that. Jesus. Peeling a bit off here, and then we'll see. If we lose this node, we lose the New York Open, we can come back down towards to test these. So I want 200 to stay heavy now on a fail. ES under its New York Open, under both VWAPs, which is good. We want 200 to stay heavy. If we reclaim 200, then we're probably going to come up to 225s again. And this can still be a pullback that holds. So that's why I'm watching 200s to stay heavy here. Lots of bids here at 175 as expected. Under that, it gets fun. Come on, you bugger. They're still holding this node as expected for now. So pay yourself some here, and then we'll see. We'll see if we get the break under. And if we do, we'll see if there's a way of adding. Here's the break under. So here we go. 75s. Watching this New York Open. Here we go. All right, trailing this aggressively now. Peeling some more off here. So sticking to the plan for the day. As always, we just stick to the plan. Like I said, this is the plan. Fantastic. All right, we want pops to fail versus 72s now. Am I in sales? Yeah. It's the only thing. Oh my God, really, really. It's the only thing I've talked about all day is waiting for buyers to get stuck, waiting for us to leave this node, waiting for us to come up to view up or 265 and look for the sells. And then I'm covering some here, covering some here. And if pop starts to fail now, I'll start to get even more heavy. I don't know if you're joking sometimes. Oh. Am I trading the stock market? Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. We're at the New York Open. Let's see if 75 stays heavy as we come right back in. Here we go, folks. Really beautiful trade here. So locking in some good money here. You guys are hilarious today. Is this YouTube? Yeah. Is this live? All right, really good. Just holding for this extension now. All right, but we've paid ourselves a good chunk. We want to see now. All right, if we're going to continue this rotation, we'd like them to build out liquidity here for this. If they recover this, all right, we've got to be careful of a lift through here. So we're paying ourselves here. We'd like this to actually build out a bit of liquidity now that we can maybe use. If they recover this, then we'll come right back up like this. So just be careful here. Do not get caught in a squeeze all the way back up. We're holding that value area low for the session at the moment. I'm done with it for now, and I will re-enter if I see pop start to fail again. ES trying to hold a high low as well on the 5-minute. Like I said, those sellers came in at 200. So I'm willing to have another look at 200, if not 225s again. But the main move, the first part of the move we wanted was here. We'll see if we fail in front of 200, I'm willing to have another look. There's a lot of bids trying to come in and support this 75 at the moment. There they go. So it might be a bit choppy here because we're holding the bottom side of this range. It could be a little bit tricky to trade because of how we've built out liquidity since, I don't know, since what time? Since that low, since 8 a.m. this morning. Here we go. Let's watch this. If they support 75s or not. Ideally, we trade back under it. Yeah, and they're supporting it. I think this can lift back up to 200 at the moment. Here we go. Here's the lift to 200s. So 200 is the level I'm watching to see if buyers get stuck. If they go through 200s, we're going right back to 230s or 225s. So I don't want to trade up there again. So we can see if buyers get caught here at 200s. We can see if ES rejects that Sunday low in New York Open. So here's the lift to 200. If we go through here, we're going to go VPOC. And then I'm not really interested in anything else up here. We just have to wait. They need to sell this now, basically. They need to trap these buyers now. We need to see sellers come back on the tape. We're not seeing that at the moment. No. So then come back up for 225s, 230s. Not very pretty at the moment. Again, it's because of how we've built out that liquidity, how we built out that range. It's kind of ugly. We're just going to have to wait for them to build out a bit more. That's a poke above 2s. Still not convinced this auction is done on the upside here. I think it's got a little bit more in it. We didn't catch very many into sort of 212s there. Again, these guys hanging out above. 37, 62, 75, just sort of hanging out above. Not really coming down and creating a new wall. Yeah, ES divert. I mean, it's massive. It's massive. Tesla's gone red to green. Microsoft's gone red to green. Was that enough excess? That might have been it as I looked over here. All right, I'll watch these 205s. We've got to be careful of the rotation. 205s to 75s and 205s above to 25s. So it's tricky. It's tricky. Run DMC. I've probably missed my entry there. And take my hands off. I think I've missed my entry there. Volume down. I mean, look at the volume yesterday. It's the worst volume day on the S&P we've had for a long time. When will I join again? When I see enough buyers get caught. That was probably it there. That was probably it there. But now they're adding liquidity higher again. So they're back in 200, 212s, 225s, 237, 262s. They're just adding more and more higher. I don't want to force the short as well. Like we had the rejection here and the pullback in. This was it. I have to be aware, right, of the overall trend now. If they're going to support bids up, need to be careful, right? This is RBS. This is the fail to break lower. This is the hold of the pivot. This is another hold of the pivot, all right? This is why we were short here, covering some in here in case it breaks down. If they recover this, right, they've got a lot of stops that they can run up here if they really want to. So I don't want to get too backside orientated. We've had the trade. The reason I was looking for that trade is what? Because it's our first bounce short, all right? Big sell. It's a bit like a small cap. Big sell, first bounce short, all right, into this level. We cover, right? If we get continuation, we'll be looking for a new trade. I don't want to get too fixed on playing that sell side if they're going to keep absorbing. You're getting Cloudflare error when you log into Lucid. I've heard a few people say that today, that they've had some Lucid issues or Lucid site been down. Okay, back towards these 75s. I've missed optimal entry there into 200s. And we can just chop between these two nodes now. All right, there's 75s. Right, if we start breaking down under this in New York Open, I will try and find a way of joining. But this is right back into the support. So I'm willing to join underneath all this, and I'm willing to have more looks up here. I just don't want to get caught while we build out this liquidity. What I'm saying basically is we've created structure here now, and we've trapped here, and we can do this for a while it figures out, does it want to break lower or does it want to move above? And I don't, like always, look at this. I don't want to get caught in all of this, right? I'll let it figure itself out. Lucid definitely did not do a rug pull, mate. Their cash flow is very, very healthy. AJ's quite a big public figure. They definitely have not done that. It's probably more likely that they've launched some new stuff and it's just been a bit tricky. What's an RBS? Resistance becomes support, right? RBS, resistance becomes support. SBR, support becomes resistance. Yeah, that hourly's starting to look a little bit tricky. Little bit tricky here. Just backing off this for a minute. Bid support still there, like we talked about. Do I trade volume? No, I just have it on the side of my graph of my chart for a joke. Yeah, of course. It's part of what I look at. Delta profile is part of what I look at. What happened, Lucid? No, guys, nothing. It sounds like they've just got a Cloudflare issue. Don't stress about it. It happens sometimes. I'm sure it'll be up again in an hour or so. Okay, back to these 75s. You can see 200, like we talked about, 200 or 205 to 75 is the rotation right now. If they break 205s, they're going to come and test 225s. If they lose 75s, they're going to come and test lower. Lots of imbalances lower. But we are in the liquidity building phase of this New York session here, inside of value. We're not pushing value up. We're not pushing value down. We're just building inside of value right now while it makes up its mind. There are some sellers starting to walk down here. For the first time today, I'm seeing them move lower. Kind of wedged in here. We're inside the opening range as well. What's the best founded account you can use? I don't know what a funded account. I don't know, mate. Like, you guys ask a lot of questions. It's very personal, isn't it? Like, what are you going for? One big payout? Daily payouts? 20 different accounts? Small base hits? I don't know. They're all different. That's why I have videos explaining what the advantage of each one is. They're all different. Every prop firm has slightly different edge to it. Anyone know where the volume profile on the right is anchored to? Well, if you read up about, I don't know, 10 things in chat, it will tell you. Okay, 25s then. Through the 200s, back to the 25s like we talked about. If we break 25s, we can put in a new high. ES, relative weakness. Still stuck here. So sellers are trying to protect 25s. They're not doing a very good job of it. And they're now adding liquidity higher again, which makes me think we're not done. We're going to move higher. Look at all these guys. 37s, 62s, 75, 87s, 90s. They just keep adding higher and higher. This is like the last few days. So slow drift up is instantly goes into my head here, like yesterday. This is a big node here at 25s, but why are we adding liquidity higher is like my main question at the moment. You can see this node here. If we get back above that, I would say new highs. Is there much excess up there? Not really. Not a whole bunch of excess above. And again, these sellers just happy to sit higher and higher and higher. This has been the story, right, for, I don't know, since we put in that V-shaped bottom. Alex wanted to give you a heads up on Lucid Live. They have updated their terms as of the end of February. Not sure escrow is still available for live. May restart with 0 with the bonus available. I'll have a look at that later. If they've done big changes, I'll do a video on it. Okay, rejecting 25s for now, but still above the 200s. Again, in the liquidity building phase of this market today. We're inside value. You can see all these nodes. So we failed up here. We washed down to 75s. We held 75s. We came back to 200. We broke 200s. We came to 25s. We create liquidity here. The question is now, do they do this? Or are they going to fail this back down to 75? I have no idea, folks, because we're pinned in. ES now found a bid back through its New York Open. I don't think there's a lot of edge here in the market. The edge here this morning was probably buying this move here and selling this move here back down. That's your edge. I'd say at the moment, nothing now. Overall bullish, but you're in a high time frame pullback now. I mean, that was the pullback, I guess, on the daily. That's the hold, that's the drift. But on an hourly, you're in a high time frame pullback to here, which they can sell back down. We're not in alignment between daily, hourly, M5, let's call it. We're completely out of alignment while they have a wiggle around. So if you think about the daily, daily's holding an RBS trying to come back up to test previous day low. If you think about the hourly, hourly's in a big sell, but finding a bid off that daily RBS zone, but can very well sell versus sort of 300-ish. If you think about an M5, then we're bullish, right? We've pivoted and we're starting to print upside. Sassy today, am I? Crude's at 100. Yeah, there or thereabouts, just under. Okay, under the 25. So rejecting 25s, back down to the 200. Remember, 205 to 200 is where sellers got caught. An instant reaction off that move. And again, sellers came piling in. Another 100 lot trying to sell the 205s got absorbed. So there's definitely someone passively absorbing the tape at the moment around these 200, 205s. No doubt about it. You can see it right here. All right, he keeps getting absorbed. Once this guy absorbing the tape here, you can see all these sellers keep trying to break underneath this pivot. If he leaves the tape, we've got room. But at the moment, he's happy to keep absorbing 205, 200s, looking for a bullish continuation to fill all these sellers. And if we zoom out, what side of the book is thicker? Well, all the sellers are all the way up here. There's not many bids. Look how dark this is down here. All right, they're just supporting action here. They think they're going to get a squeeze out here. So if they fail, it could get nasty because we're very thin at the moment underneath those 205s. So back to these 205s again. So here we go. This is what I'm talking about. If this guy leaves the tape, we're very thin underneath on the book. So we're going VWAP to VWAP. We're going 225s to 200. If we fail 200s, we're going to go 200s to 175. These are just the rotations that are in place this morning. I don't make them up. The market decides them. I look like a mob boss. Hey, Tony Montana. So here you go. 225s to 200, and you have to watch this level now. It's a bit of a messy tape here, folks, why I'm just sitting waiting. I know we're building liquidity. Bronx Tale, yeah, of course I've seen it. All those films, seen them all. What are we doing here, market? This is looking more and more like an inverted head and shoulder, but they cannot get him above these 225s at the moment. Only thing I'd say is the excess up there, it's not huge. It's really not looking that great. That's a big level. This is a big level up here for sure. PSG or Bayern tonight? Maybe Bayern. I've got a friend going to the game. ES traded down to last week's naked point of control. Yeah, we traded down to last week's value area high. We traded down to that. And ES is now stuck. It can't get through its gamma level. Look, this is the divergence. If we zoom out of this, I'm just going to go to an M5 so you can see more. All right, there's your second leg. Failing at gamma, stuck at the VWAPs, stuck at New York Open. Nothing to do, nothing to see. All right, bears will be waiting to see if this wants downside pressure versus this. We're nowhere near that, right, on the NQ. This is the problem, right? Put that in context. That's up here, right? It's like, it's so different right now, again. Okay, so 200's failing. They might rotate 175 now, like we talked about. Again, you're stuck between the VWAPs here in the chop. Big buyer coming in here at the 190s, market side bias. So they're trying to sell under these 205s. So sellers are trying, they are trying to take control under 200, 205s. So we can watch this level now. Straight back to it. And if they don't sell this, we're going to go right back to 225. So this is the level now that matters. They've had quite a few goes down here. Like I said, there's been a buyer absorbing the tape. If he leaves the tape here, we have room to go down. So I'm watching this. It's a good reaction. First reaction in. And if they recover, straight back to 225s again. It's very, very messy. Waiting to see if there's any follow through in either direction today. Tesla's gone red to green now, 0.66% up on the day. Microsoft 0.17% up. Apple having a decent day, 1% up. So holding the bottom side of its range on Apple. Most of the mag trying to claw back. I'll give you a readout. So Tesla 0.61% up, Nvidia 1.62% down, Microsoft 0.14% up, Meta 0.80% down, Google 0.06% down, close to going back to red to green, Amazon 0.21% down, Apple 1% up. So at the moment, it's been a buy the dip scenario. All right, we haven't gone red to green on them all, but they're closing the gaps for now. For now, remember, big news is coming tomorrow, and I tell you what today's done. It's made sure that we've got big range for tomorrow. That's what today's done. Oh yeah, where's it gone? Hang on, I'm on the wrong one. That's why. There you go. It's here. Okay, they're trying to reject the 205s. Still no real continuation away from it. I'm interested because I'm seeing sellers start to come in. Here they come. All right, let's see. Back to the 175s. Let's see if we start to break down here or not. Still holding that 175. So 205, 175, 225. Again, nothing's changed. Range is the same. Got that instant response from 175 straight back up to the twos. It's a range trader's heaven right now, I'd say. Failing that 200 test. Again, these sellers, though, if you look at the book above me, keep stacking higher. They keep stacking higher. They are not being very aggressive on the walk down here. It's like they're scared to come and try and get a breakdown in the market. It's probably been burnt so many times. Probably what it is. And this range just starting to be developed. So we're in this right now. And really, we're probably in a D of a B, if we think about it. We're in something like that, and the B's in the midpoint. Where am I looking for my next trade? I don't know yet. I'm letting it build out liquidity. I keep giving you the levels. 175, 200, 205, 225. Those are the levels. I'm not looking to execute right here at the moment. Every time we have the chance, we don't trap, and then we just rotate and rotate and rotate. And we're just in the liquidity building phase. So I'm not really looking to execute much at the moment. VIX trading back down towards low of day. I wonder if that's just it for the market. If we just do nothing all day now, a bit like yesterday. Hourly's rebalanced and then just gone sideways. $200s again. Again, these sellers not really coming down, sat up there. No edge in the market at the moment. Look at the two VWAPs as well. Like this is what you don't want to see. There's your profile. There's New York Open. There's New York VWAP. There's 24-hour VWAP. There's point of control. This is tight, man. This is like yesterday. It's like yesterday for now. coming in again here, the sellers. Let's see. Back to the 75s. I'm waiting to see if they start taking control here. So that guy that was absorbing 95s has got to start being out of position here soon. So I'm looking to see if we let go. If there's a continuation, or if this is just range holding all day, then I'm not going to play. But if we start to see a break and continuation, sellers start to take control of the market, I'm interested. I don't want to get too biased though, because we are holding RBS. I have to remind myself we're holding RBS, we're holding zones. They might want to come back and visit these. But ES is looking like it wants to move lower at the moment. If it breaks down out of this wedge, we're right holding these 175. So that grey box here is very, very key at the moment. Very, very key. Nothing's changed. 175, 200, 205, and then 225. That's your rotation for you guys playing range. It's just not what I'm going to play. I'm going to have to wait for something to come and show itself. Back to these 205s again. Again, sellers have the chance to come in here and defend, but look at the book map above me. See how they're sat all the way up to 250? What you would want is for them, these guys at 230, 250, 225 to just come down. But they're not willing to do it. And that means I'm unwilling to look for momentum. They're just playing range. They're like selling that, buying that, selling that, buying that, selling that, buying that. In, what do we have here? In like a 50-point range. Same as yesterday, right? 50 points. I think it is exactly the same. Internals are leaning bearish. Well, we'll see. Fixes at lower day. We'll see. Like I said, I would like the first bounce short, which we tried today, but we're building a lot of range out here. So we need to wait for one side to leave the building. Google red to green, Microsoft red to green. Tesla giving back here now. Tesla gone green to red now. Okay. Perking my interest around these closing prices. Let's see then if this market's ready. Back to these 75s, which we keep bidding at all day long. If we start to let go, and this guy that's been absorbing leaves the tape, we can probably have a really good move today. What's this node here? 90. Yeah, 75 to 70 is massive level. Under that, it's got a shot because we've got some big imbalances to come back down. Right, a seller's starting to walk down here. Still guys at 50, but there is a guy starting to try and walk down here under 200. Here he comes. Here he comes. Okay, can we get involved? If you're going to play ball, if you're going to ruin them. Here come the sellers again. Here they come. Here they come. All right, let's see. Trying to see if we can get involved here. If they're going to really let go of this and rotate lower under New York. Open under value area low for the session under 75s. If ES is going to come and sweep everyone. So looking to see if we can get short. I want to be very careful because we're bottom side of the range, but we can break down here based on what I'm seeing in the market. Here we go. So this is the New York Open. I don't really want to put something on here. I want pops to fail for me to really get involved. Losing the best price here. If we can play momentum, we will. Watching how we act at these 75s, okay? That's what I'm watching. By getting absorbed here. There's a bid coming in here. Just waiting. I want to see if these sellers get filled. All right, I've stuck a very small piece on here versus 75s. Here we go. Can we get under this New York Open? I really don't want to cover this early. I'm going to try and look for the whole move or break even. If they recover, then break even. Into the imbalance. If they lift higher, they can come straight back to the 205. So I'm not going to sit in it. I'm only small size. I'm not going to sit in it for that move. But I am short now. If we get a breakdown under the value area low in New York Open, I think we can come and clean out lower. But it's very tricky into this RBS. It's very, very tough trade, this. But what I'm trying to bet on is that that guy that was absorbing 205s is moving out the money. Very, very tricky trade. Bid's coming back on a tape here. I'm about to cut this. If we pop back into 80s, anywhere around there, I'm going to cut. I'm only small size. I can get back in. Trying to give it a little bit of a wiggle room just because of these sellers just above. Yeah, they're starting to walk down now. This is what I want to see. This is good. This is good. These sellers starting to walk down now. Here we go. Come on, get through these bids. Come on. And I will start adding here if we start to stay heavy because I've only got a little piece on. Okay, adding into this now. And I want to trim some into this wick and see if we can liquidate this guy and come back down into this pool down here. We've got lots of liquidity. We're very, very thin between 25 and 11. So I'd like to try and get some covers off into that. Here comes the momentum. Come on, sellers. I've been very patient trying to watch the tape to join you guys. Can you help me here? Come on, sellers. Because I've added in now. Don't fuck me. Watching this New York Open. Got to be careful because I've started adding. Don't want to become the liquidity to get trapped. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Break down. Come back down to 20s for me. Sellers are starting to walk down, which is exactly what I've been waiting to see. Here we come. Come on. Please. Don't make it hard for me. God, it's like watching paint dry. Come on. Trying to cover some into this low volume node down here and then see if the market really wants to rotate. Ideally, we just sweep this liquidity, get a little dunk underneath. Oh my God. Out. Out on that. Nice break even there. Fat old break even. I'll add back in if that's a sweep. Like I said, I started to add, so I had to be careful. So nice fat break even on there. Right, I've got 2 more attempts at that. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble. Yeah, Microsoft finding a bid. Oh, God, you got to laugh. ES under both VWAPs. Q's not under both VWAPs. NQ under both VWAPs. Like, divergence between the ETFs right now and the futures as well, just to make it hard. Just to make it hard. Break even as a win. I mean, it's not a loss, so it's just good risk management. I still think we've got a chance to do it. What's this guy here? 28s. What's his price? We had a 200 lot come flying in at 160s there, buy side, to force that squeeze. Literally came flying in. It's probably a load of stops. People looking for the same move I was. ES, by the way, swept the internal. So ES, we have divergence as well. ES took this out as well. So we're going to come and test this guy at 160 who just printed this book up. Let's see. If he gets out of the way, we go back down again. But he's the reason I stopped. was that big buy at 162. He's the guy that stopped me out. So we're testing him now. Are you going to stop me out to do it? Of course you fucking are. We all know that's going to happen. Okay, let's see. Are they willing to let go of this New York Open? That's the question. ES is already under it. We are diverged from the ETFs on QQQ, which is very annoying. Spiders look like they want to roll. If the VIX can find a bid here, it will really help us. This is very, very tricky to trade here this morning. Range has really tightened up. And the levels on the H1 are going to make it hard to take another trade, right? So if we think about this, we broke down, we sold, we've repriced. When we look for these shorts, we have to respect structure, which we're holding. We can do this all day now. All right, if they're unwilling to come back down, we can do this all day. And what that leaves is these shots for FOMC. All right, it leaves it. It builds up liquidity and leaves those shots. So I'm aware of that given the day of the week. We could have a decent short if I liquidate my swings. Well, I've sold a lot of my AMD. Bids are starting to pull their bids a bit here. Mate, VIX is breaking down. This looks awful. We're in no, like the market is in complete unalignment. Complete unalignment. VIX just made a new low. ES is rejecting New York VWAP. NQ's under its VWAPs. Crude's trading almost at 100. Big divergence to VIX here. Alex, can I go get a coffee so I can get this short? Shall we do it just for jokes to see if it looks like it's going to do it, doesn't it? It's just washed me out above that node and come right. You can see this node is important though. Under here, like I said, I think you can get a move to 25s. I tell you what, I will go and get that coffee just for jokes because I do need a refill. Let's see if it does it while I'm gone. All right. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Oh, you gotta laugh. Don't you love trading? Don't you love trading? Oh god, that's so good. That is so good. All right, guys, you're coming into these imbalances. Like I said, there's a little shelf here at 24.25. So like I expect us to try and fill that. So I'll be taking partials into here and then seeing if you get continuation. This is the exact trade I was just looking for in all of this. They made it hard, so we got this leg of it. And we had to go here, mate, and I got stopped out looking for this move. And I'll see if I can get back involved somehow. Here you go. So into these imbalances we just talked about. So you want to be paying yourself a little bit here if possible. All right, and then if we start to break down, you can add to it. All right. Here we go. Here we go. They're finally doing it, aren't they? Oh, what absolute buttholes. What a bunch of twats. Honestly, what a bunch of knobs. They never give me what I want. I swear to God. Okay, well, at least I teach you guys so you can get it without me. Look at this. We had to build out the liquidity here. We had to run Alex's stops. All right. He added heavy here, so he had to be cautious. He didn't want to get caught in here because he knew adding here and getting this breakdown would give him his big win today. So he got pretty aggressive down there. Just being honest with you, which is why I had to tighten my stop up to break even, because I didn't want to get caught the wrong side of it as I started to become aggressive. Okay, here you go, folks. You got to laugh. You've got to laugh. Right, please make sure you're covering some in this blue box. All right, please, 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 please. You should have covered a good chunk. This was the move that we looked for. ES has now swept all that liquidity out. If we start rejecting 25s, right, we can look for a reshort, and the same if we start rejecting sort of 50s and 70s. All right, so maybe this is it now. See if we can get involved in this as we go back down to the lows. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good here. And remember, a break of this level here would go back inside of last week's value. All right, if we go back inside of last week's value, remember, this is why I was staying short side. All right, first bounce short, measured move. If we can time the backside now, we're covering some into this. And if we get a breakdown, this is the continuation setup back into previous week's value, back down to here, right? What we went over pre-market. Hopefully that makes sense to why I was focused on that side of the trade. Okay, so make sure you're trimming here. I'm going to try and get involved here as we come down to these opening range lows. Really nice. All right, ES into a big, big, big level here. So you want to pay yourself some here and then see if we can add in as we start to break beneath previous week's value. Do we think we go past the gap that hasn't been filled on Thursday? I'll have to go and have a look at it, mate. What was it? The Thursday to Friday gap? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, here's your break of the low. This is your cover point. All right, pay yourself here. If we start breaking below all this, it gets fun. I will remind you to zoom out of the H1. And we're coming right back into some big nodes. I'm going to show you the H1 to make sure you are aware. I'm in this at the moment for a ride, if possible. Nice. Here we go. It's previous week's value area high. Covering a piece here. I got involved at initial balance. It's late, but it's a legit setup. This is the level. And under this, we can go into previous week's value. Right, let me show you guys so you're aware of where we are. You got to zoom out. You got to zoom out. Okay, here we are. So this is why we were trying to trade the short today. All right. First bounce, short. Lower time frame was measured move. Covering some into previous week's value area high. The next targets, right, are kind of into this shelf here. So 27,000 to 26,970, 960. So this node here becomes important. In fact, let me just make sure I've got this done well. Yeah, that's good. All right, so that node there becomes important. If we lose that node, then we're thinking about a full rotation of value, full rotation of previous week's value. It doesn't have to do it today, but these are the areas we'd be looking to go to. All right, so if this is the backside of the move, if we think about a trend line, all right, we're probably coming into it. In fact, let's just do it now. All right, it's got a bit further to go. And that was an overextension down there. In fact, let's do the Malaysian way and go to bodies. Okay, bodies are in a failure. So yes, we've got a chance if we let go of previous week's value to rotate now for a backside of the move. But just know that this is a big area. This is what we were looking for today. First bounce short. Okay, it's a simple setup, right? It's a simple momentum setup. It's the same on anything ever. First bounce short. All right, and ideally you always get two legs. Ideally you get two legs, and then this was your lower high. We had to be really careful here. They made this very tricky. But once they failed this, look at this, really beautiful. And just see how low you can go now. These nodes all the way down. Looks fantastic, guys. This is what we wanted. Coffee saved your account, hey? You're welcome. You're welcome. Lots of you making good money here. Up 300 in each of my 20 Apex accounts. Nice work, bud. Nice work. I don't know about the Tyson trade here. I think further downside. Well, both are available, remember? The Tyson trade isn't one trade. It's also an expansion model. All right, so a rejection of initial balance would be the expansion model. And if we were going to do a measured move for the expansion model, we're looking for a 1.5. All right, measured move would take us into this next block, right? This is the high volume node. So that's a good reason, if they do the expansion, to come down here. If they do the mean reversion, it would be to test this, won't it? Which will be VWAP, which is also a legit trade back up. So it's up to you which side of that you want to trade. For me, like I said, I've been the focus for me today was to sell this. Like I said, I probably should have bought this. Why? Because we are due a second leg. Right, if we think about leg 1, pullback, leg 2, and then failure. Right, if we build liquidity out here, we can look for that move. So we've got to build it out now for a bit. So just let it do what it is. You should have made money on that move while I got my coffee. You should have made good money. Alex, Platinum Signal Service. I'm getting a coffee. I'm going to the loo. I'm taking a dog for the walk. Yeah. What is the name of the new VP indicator on Ninja Trader? It's a new flow zone indicator. All right, it's coming soon. We haven't. It's not quite ready yet. Oh no, I've moved it. Oh bollocks. Yeah, it will be ready soon, guys. It's in development. It's probably going to be called Spectra, I think. But it's in development. I know lots of you are interested. We just got to make sure there's no bugs, it's super clean, etc., etc. I don't want to give you something which, needs a bit more work. So there's a few of us testing it at the moment, checking the log files, etc., etc. It would be done soon. Past 5 alpha zeros, nice work. Yeah, nice work, everyone. I should probably tell you guys about some of the stuff going on at the moment in prop firm world. I never do that. I'm the worst affiliate. I did post it last night. My funded futures have just launched a new sale. For those of you who are interested, I'll tell you what it is. Right, daily payouts, 2-day eval, 90-10 split in your favor for the 50K rapid accounts. All right, so $107 right now with code FZT. You're allowed 2 of them, maximum of 2 for that price. I think you're allowed 5 of them, but maximum 2 for that price. Ends 1st of May, so you've got a few days to get that if you're interested. Apex sale is still going on until the 7th, so you've got another week left of that. Lucid is still going on as well, 40% off all the accounts there. I am in touch with them there. We're going to do that giveaway that I've been promising you guys. I'm just waiting. I'm hoping that I can get some big accounts for you guys, and we're going to do the giveaway of the nice monitor with everything. I'm just waiting for them to come back to me. 2,000 in stream, hit the like. Yeah, please hit the like. All right, coming back to this low volume node, so it's important how we act here. This might be the reshort opportunity up here. Around here, how we act here becomes key for the liquidity build out if they're going to look for lower. So you can see first rejection here, we're trapping buyers up here. It's starting to look good. So I'm starting to perk my interest here. It's tricky because we're shorting lows, right? And we're shorting towards lows for momentum if we're going to play this. But we're in a sell day. This looks good. This looks good. We just trapped a load of buyers there on the tape. So break below 0.75 is good. Here we come. Back down into this range. This is where they last bid to try and hold it. So I'm watching this area to see if we get that continuation move now. Here's the initial balance. Good breakdown here. Bids are showing up at 50, 37, 25s, 12s, and 27,000 evens. We look good here. So if they sell versus 75 now, there's probably good continuation. Sellers stepping in here. So they're going to try and protect 75. 75 is the level. This little lift up here, we want to see them sell this. Here come the buyers. Can we sell against these buyers? This is what I'm watching. This lift right now. Does this seller step in right here? He's at 77s at the moment. Nope. Squeezed him out. All right, no trade there. We'll see if he comes back in higher. Here he comes. Oh, he's adding higher. Is he done? Are they done with it? Mate, strong selling on the tape, but then they lift on passive. Back to 100. I'm still watching that 75. That's the level. That 75 is the level. Did they just allow them through that little bit too much there? Can still break down. I'm still watching for continuation here. I'm not looking for the IB back up. I'm looking for continuation. They're selling heavy on this tape at the moment. 75 is the level. This is the level. 75 and then 64. There's a little node at 64. Under that, new low of day. I'm looking to join sells. Whoa! Look at that. 64. What a wiggle. What a wiggle. Right on the node. Like a micro node here. You can't really see it as well in TradingView, but you can see it really well here. I'm watching this node right here. Right, 64. And this guy here, 89s, and then 75. It's where these guys have been piling in. Back to IB. I think they let it go here, honestly. I think we're about to wash. They're just battling very hard. Buyers coming back in again at that node. They know that if we go back into... There's also gamma there. I missed that. All right, there's your gamma wall. All right, if we slide under this, we have the next room. Where's P2? Is that above? Oh, we're running out of room, to be honest. They're going to have to put some new levels in. We are actually running out of room in terms of options. Yeah, thanks, Pierre. Don't worry. Alex has made plenty of money. It's okay. Trump trying to save the market. Why is he talking again? Are we in plunge control? I didn't see anything. Here we go. All right, I've got to pay attention here. Here we go. Here's the 62s. We're under this node now. We should sell to low of day now. They should try and reject 62, 64-ish to get to the low of day. You don't want them to bid and hold on to this. There's lots of bids below. I think we're about to wash here, folks. Here we go. Here we go. Lower day break coming. Come on. Get out of the way, buyers. You're fucked. You're fucked. Get out of my way. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Say goodnight. Let's get a nasty swipe down here, please. Lower day break coming. Come on. Come on. Just like samurai sword down. Slice their heads off. Slice their heads off. They're all stacked here. 40s all the way down to 87s. Just slice their heads off. Take them out. Here we go. Slicing and dicing. Here we go. There we go. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see if we can get an extension now. There's more to come here. There's more to come. They're in pain. They are in pain down here. They're doing everything they can to try and hold this tape. They're in pain down here. What's the target? These grey boxes. So this grey box, we've got a node here, and then all the way down here. All right, so we're covering, and we'll see if we can get down into this. Let's go for the extension. Here we go. Beautiful. Hadouken. What's the extension? Let's have a look. The 1.5. 75. This grey box. This is a big grey box. So we've got a put support 3 here, that which we're finding a bid off at the moment. I would love to get into this 975, somewhere around that. Anywhere around here is where I'm trying to get down to. Oh, bollocks. Anywhere in here is where I'm trying to get down to. Under that, then we then have a lot of room. Hadouken. Yeah. All right, has ES swept yet? It's coming back to the lows. It is also swept. All right, ES has just hit a big target as well. Let me just check the spiders. Spiders has as well. So make sure you've paid yourself some here, and we'll just see now if we can get these to rumble on down. 27,000 straight out the newsletter. There you go, my friend. Yeah, big level, eh? Big level. If I have a question. If I have a 50k flex account, 2k on one day, do you fail the eval? No, it just means you're going to need to make 4k overall. So you might want to like lose a little bit of money and get it down to 1500. Alex, what's your risk management strategy for your funded accounts? What's your average risk and contract size? It depends how much I'm up on the account, mate. Like, you would have seen this one. We did a video on this account last week. Like, this account I'm up pretty healthy on. I remember I took 2,000 out on Friday. Yesterday was basically a scratch day. I think I made $100. I'm up a little bit today, 450. But I'm not like being as aggressive right now because I've got a huge buffer. And right now, all I need to make is 150 a day on that to take 2,000 out again this Friday. Well, I probably won't get it for this Friday. It'll probably be Monday. And then like I just need to get the 6th payout and then roll it into live. So like it all depends. It all depends how much I'm up on the account. That's what determines my risk. Is it a trailing drawdown? Like is it a TPT? All right, then I have to be a bit more careful. Okay, good rejection of previous week value area high here. We look like we're going to trade lower here, folks. We look really, 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 really good. So make sure you're paying yourself. We're trying to get underneath this little red line into the next grey box. Remember, that's our target. Can we get into that grey box? Does your consistency increase when you make with profit you make in drawdown? What do you mean? The flex accounts don't have consistency. And if you have a consistency rule, it's percentage based. You're asking questions which are all available on my YouTube, guys. I'm not going to spend the live stream going over Apex rules and stuff. There's plenty of videos on my YouTube on how to pass those, how to treat them. I will do a new one soon for the newer accounts, but it's the same principle. Okay, they're still trying to trade down. 27,000's the magic number here. Can we break below that? Looks good for it. They're really trying here. They are really trying here. We have some single prints or some zero prints even for Mo. 993 and 919. Here we go. It's coming. It's a coming. It's a coming. Ha ha ha. It's a battle. I will stop out the runner on IB. That feels like news. That is definitely feels like news. Book's thinned right out here. Are we in Trump protection again? Okay, Iraq confirms no intention to exit OPEC or OPEC Plus for stable prices, says to oil. That's all I'm seeing. Still in versus initial balance at the moment. ES didn't make lower. No, not yet on a 1 minute. Trying to let my runner work here. I might pull this stop in a bit tighter if we're going to start to bid and hold this. Sellers just got caught at 23s there. I don't want to give too much back on the runner and potentially give up to 50 points back. I don't want to give too much back. I want to be careful. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. That puts support holding for now. Done with it for now. I'll let this build out again while they get through these headlines and we can go again. Still rejecting IB. How are we doing on the likes here for a giveaway? Oh man, come on guys. Every day I have to remind it. Every day I have to remind you guys. Smash that like button, please. 600 of you liking. There was over 2,400 of you in here at one point this morning. You all make your money and then you bugger off. Right, we let this build out now. Can see the importance of it here. This area, very, very important now. If they reject or if they're going to go for mean reversion back inside. Why does this keep dying? I can't see the chat. There we go. That's better. Waiting for my next coffee break. It's all right. Still in a sell here. It's just it's getting tricky for new entries because of the H1. So I'm now like keep zooming out and being like, got to be very, very careful here. Right? Breakout, pullback, bear trap, breakout, pullback, breakout, failure, big pullback, big liquidity pull. Want to be very careful being a seller down here. The sells we wanted, remember this morning. If we draw this into structure, so it makes sense for you guys, we'll do a little lesson here while this figures itself out again. We come up here. All right, if you think about what we've done the last few weeks, consolidation. Okay. All right. I'll give you a call in a bit. All right. Bye. Right. V-shape off the V-shape bottom. Here we go. push, consolidation, push, consolidation, breakout, bear trap, push, this, all right? Failure to make a new high, overnight, failure, push, back into the same level, right? This is where we shorted today. This is where we're covering. We've got to be careful there, right? We have to be careful in this area, being trying to be too aggressive selling down here. This is where people start to get caught, all right? This is where people start to get caught. If we break down underneath these levels, we trade into the next pool, right? So this was our first bounce short. This is the same when you have a small cap. Anytime you have anything that fails to make a new high and there's a shelf break, you will get a big sell. At some point, you will get a relief bounce. Why? Because shorts cover, all right? And then we can think about like a fib or single prints or, you know, however you want to call it, SNR, all right? And then we're looking to sell back into there and extensions beyond it, all right? We've had that move, so we want to limit our moves now. We've had the easy money move, had the low-hanging fruit move. Is it the same thing we spoke about yesterday? You will have to excuse me. I can't even remember what we spoke about yesterday. I forget what we spoke about yesterday. What did we do yesterday? Yesterday, we talked about absorption, right? We talked about absorption. We talked about absorption into key levels. So that would be if we saw absorption down here. A little bit. I mean, this was the kill candle, right? This is the big sell candle. There's a little bit of selling here. That's the break above and hold. I don't think we're necessarily done, but yeah, you could say that's your pivot at the moment. And you can see what once Delta turned positive here, we got that upside lift. Sellers are trying to come back in now. We've got excess stuck up here again. So it's possible they come and revisit this same level again, 50s. Which would be what? This guy. This guy. All right, because they've just swept this. Remember, now we've had breakout buyers come in above this swing high. Right, so anyone who's short here just stopped out, became a market buyer. Breakout buyers have come in here. If they're going to pair off that liquidity, they're going to try and trade back down towards 50s. If they get a break below 50s, they try and trade back down. But I would say the easy money is gone. We got the easy money today. We looked for that easy money from here. I was looking for this move basically. If you go back to the beginning of the day, we were looking for the 2 leg to sell into. 1, 2, to then sell into. For this, we respect this structure. We hold runners below. This can still build out liquidity to go lower. It doesn't have to be today. When I say stuff like this, remember, we can build out this liquidity and do FOMC bollocks and then use it. Doesn't have to be today. Build out of liquidity can take a long time. You would have seen yesterday, we were looking for the 500, right, in the afternoon, right, and they didn't do it. They built out all day. Was this yesterday? All right, look at this grind. All right, failed to break lower. 1, 2, all right, buy side of the curve. Grindy, 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 grindy. There's your little trap. Grindy, 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 grindy. Where do they want to come? This pivot. Failed to do it in New York. The moment Globex opens up, oh, there we go. We'll take your pivot and then we'll go back down. Why? Short stops are here. They get stopped out. They become market buyers, right? They provide the liquidity here for market makers to get swing short. What happens from that point? We never come back to it, right? That's the lesson from yesterday. Same thing, right? It's using sweeps to provide liquidity is the best way I can put it, which might be what we've just had here. Might very well be what we've just had here. All right, let me catch up with the chat here, folks. Sorry. Lucid's working again? Okay, great. Time for another coffee break. I can't have another. I'm going to be wired. I've already got one here. If I walk on my hands to get a coffee, do we mean revert back up? That's hilarious. Gospel clarity. I just qualified for my first Lucid payout. Do I have to wait until the end of the day? Yes, you do. You have to wait until end of day for payouts. Alex, I'm consistently making good trades. I trade one MES contract. I place stops where I need to. I have one issue. I get out too early. Any tips? Yeah, I mean, why don't you try using limits for your exit at a key level? Put your stop in once it starts to go your way, right? Put your stop in once it's like proven. Put your stop in, as in like move it up to break even, and just try and let it work out. And just get used to trying to let it work out. There you go. That sweep, and now we've come back down towards these 50s that I talked about. You can see the importance of this now. Oh yeah, you got get a room. Oh, that's when my wife came in. I'm just catching up with the chat here. Oh, she does exist. Yes, I am actually married. I'm not talking to a random person. Alex, I had a Lucid Flex eval make a trade last night without me initiating. The count was blown up early. Would Lucid help? I mean, I don't understand how that would how you did that. You know, you would have to prove to them that you haven't done it. I mean, you'd have to get in touch with Tradeify or whoever you're working with for that. It's very hard for them to give you a free one unless there's proof that you didn't take that trade. Okay, so sweep coming back down here. Here's the 50s, and we can, I'm going to refocus now. We can still see continuation lower if they want. They can also just put in sideways action here for a while, but you can see this sweep provided the liquidity for them to then sell back into here. We're back into this same level. Let me just zoom in here so I can see where these sellers came in. Buyers last came in at 37s. Sellers came in at 42s, excesses at 20s and under. So that's your kind of rotation at the moment. Again, I think the easy move's gone. Easy move's gone for now. Nvidia back into a big sell. So it's a pretty volatile market here. VIX finding a bid. Pretty volatile market here. How are we doing for time? We've got an hour left. We've got time to make another trade if it provides something. Do I have any advice for taxes for trading? No, and you need to speak to an accountant for that. I am not a tax advisor. I'm sorry. Oh, it would be legally wrong of me to say anything and get myself and yourself in some trouble. Have I ever traded gold? Yes. What's my opinion on trading it? If it's a vehicle that works for you, trade it. It's not my preferred vehicle, so I don't really trade it very much. Yeah, my body tone changes when I speak to my wife. Probably. I mean, she's not a trader, and I'm not trying to educate her. And she's a good woman. You wish I would say I'm short or I'm long as soon as I take it. It'd be really helpful. But I tell you the levels that I'm looking to execute at before they happen, right? Like, I'm not a signal bot. I'm trying to teach you. If I'm like, say I'm leaning on this versus this, then I'm short versus a level. Like, you've got to stop. Like, even though you're saying I've done your course, then learn the course. Learn the course. Learn what we're looking at. Like, stop looking for signals. You're not going to learn looking for signals. You have to lean on levels. Like, we were leaning. I was saying I'm short here. My stop's up here, break even. I'm adding in here. I even said I'm adding in here. I'm adding heavy for this breakdown. Stops move to break even. Got wicked out, and then it breaks down away from me, and then I joined for this move here. All right, and then I'm done with it because I missed this getting a coffee. So I don't understand when you're like, you don't say, well, I even told you I'm adding very heavy here. I've got a starter on, I'm adding heavy. Starter on. I even remember saying I've got a starter on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. How is your strategy with consistency? You make big trade after 5 days, small trades, just every max win you could. I don't understand what you're asking, Eddie. I'm not trading in accounts which require consistency right now other than Apex. Why do I wear glasses inside of the house? Again, some of you are new. These look dark on screen, but if you look through there, they're not dark. All right, look at that. All right, because I require glasses to see. I have stigmatism and I'm short-sighted, and these are glasses and they have some light protection on. It's just when I put them on, they look dark, but they're not actually dark. It's because I've got bright lights pounding in my face. Elizabeth, I don't need to do what you want, but just so that you know, and just so you can go and watch my videos, and just so all these things, and da-da-da-da. And if you want to be like that, and you want me to do everything for you when I'm teaching you here for live, you're just going to get booted out. It's that simple. Like, I've called everything for you. Even this move here, when I went to the bathroom and said, this is what I'd be looking for, or I went to make coffee, I even called that out for you. Do you need my position for that, Elizabeth? Do you? Come on. Some of you are absolute madness out here. Like, what happens when I leave YouTube or other people leave YouTube? What are you going to do? Sit and go, oh, what do I do? Just learn. Just learn. Learn how to trade. Okay, I'm not any more like that. I'm just not going to give it attention today because I just find it irritating. It's just ridiculous at this point. Bruh. Any plans on making a video about gamma levels? Not really. I think there's plenty of good stuff about them already. They're just, I don't pay too much attention to them. I just use them as confluence levels like we talked about. Right, so if this is a put support, all right, and we're in negative gamma, this is the one thing this morning, we're in divergence, we're in negative under here, so we're in sells under that technically. All right, we know this is a big wall for puts where they're covering into. This is also an RBS zone. It's also where we've built liquidity today. It's also previous week value area high. All that gives me is confidence that I need to cover into that. Is there an extension under this? Not really. Not really. There's not much left. So this is possible if they get very heavy today. But just use them as confluence. Use them as targets, profit targets. Know that we're likely to get reactions off them, especially the bigger the volume that's there. What's your Tanuki setting on Gex? Mine has different levels. There's no setting on it. There's only one now. They updated it. So 0 DTE, if that's what you mean, because I'm interested in the levels today. So first, then that. So this is where they're hedging at today. These are the levels for today. You can go further out, but what helps me avoid going on tilt on choppy market days? Well, just not trading it, right? So you would have seen yesterday, like I will sit still for a long time. For a long time, I'm happy to sit still and sit still and sit still and sit still and sit still until there's something setting up. And if I go on tilt, if I feel tilt building, I try and leave. So like if there's too many break evens, I try and leave. Right, the same. I talked about it yesterday. If I have too many break evens over too many days, I try and leave. If I don't like price action over too many days, I try and leave. I try and walk away. I try and give myself a day off every now and again. Should I close my short? I don't know where you're short from. How could I possibly tell you that? Are you short from here? Are you short from here? Are you short from here, or are you short from here? If you're short from here, you should already be out of it. We're now building a new range, aren't we? This is your range. You can see it here. Shorts are defending this low volume node. They are trying to get liquidity built to break down lower. Do I see a W? Well, not yet. I see this, 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 and this. I just see a range. For me, a W would come if we base above this and hold for that move. I won't be trading that. Alex, do you think I should put my... I just read that. How do I prevent being early to the party? I got nicked on a fade in pre-market only for it to run my way, but I recovered in... So you were trying to fade pre-market, so you were short somewhere in here. You just got to have a strategy that you're playing at. So like, when we're in strong momentum, you're looking for this, right? Bear flag, breakdown, right? And this is hard to short versus. This isn't bad. This isn't bad. Back into flow zones, back into some level of structure. Failures up here, hard stops, and then let it work, all right? And then we reprice that. If we think about this leg, we probably reprice 61 of it, right? More than into the bottom of this where we failed from, where the start of this failure came from. All right, and you're waiting for backside, right? We don't want to short this. We want to short backside. I think about this as the trend. Backside, we're into a sell. Backside. All right, now we're basing out. This can be a giant range here for tomorrow. This is my one concern about being short down here. We're looking for that expansion, but this can be a giant range here for tomorrow because we're going into FOMC. Why is it important to watch imbalances? Because the market likes to use them. So if you understand what an imbalance is, it's a breakaway in price. All right, so here, this run happened so quickly on such little volume, all right, that we had inefficiencies here. So when we do this move down, in here, there were lots of areas where no liquidity was traded. The market likes to trade liquidity. Think of it like almost like Tetris, all right? If this is your Tetris screen, it likes to fill everything in before it then removes the blocks, all right? So in here, we had zero prints. We had prints where nothing was traded or single prints. Like with this move was too quick on low volume, right? Too quick on low volume. So we reprice back into structure, and then we can move away. It's just how the market likes to move based on efficiencies. Same with gaps, right? Same story. Crypt Onion. Yeah, I think you're probably right, my friend. I'm doing my best, mate. I'm doing my best. Do you ever attend any type of show where we can meet you? I don't really do stuff like that. I've been invited a few times, but don't want to shit on people, but I just think it's such a wanky industry, that side of the industry. I've never been one for doing that stuff, but maybe we can do something like that. What do I think of Fabio? Well, he's one of the best traders in the world, so he's awesome. What is PB buy and sell? Pullback buy, pullback sell. Pullback buy, pullback sell. On the indicator, you mean? Yeah, pullback buy, pullback sell. You've probably had one fire here, have you? Let me check. I don't have them on. You had one fire? Yeah, there's your pullback buy this morning. So it's dip and reclaims. I'm surprised we haven't fired one here, to be honest. Maybe it hasn't pushed hard enough. There's your pullback sell this morning. Pullback sell. So we went into a sell, pullback sell, pullback sell. Then we went into a buy, pullback buy, pullback buy. And we went into sell. You'll probably get, if you poke up here and then fail, you'll get a pullback sell model to go back down. Do I think longs have potentials to play out today? Yeah, I mean, if they're going to hold, but we have to just remember where we are, right? Like, what kind of day we're in. Right, we're in an outside bar, filling in Friday. There's Monday. There's the outside bar, so we're in trend bar, filling in Friday, back down to, what's this, Thursday and Wednesday, right? And if we lose these prints, we fill in back down to here, where we last found a bid. It depends whether they're willing to bid today early. I would say it's probably a day early. They might want to use a trap for FOMC. I don't really know, my friend, but it's a level of interest for sure. You can clearly see it's a level of interest because resistance, 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 support, support. But if they lose this, like we said, this is previous week's value, right? If you're trying to bid previous week's value area high and it doesn't hold any of these nodes, then we're going to drift down to previous week's point of control. Remember, we still have a naked point of control down here from the week before. I'm very, very interested in how we operate at this because for me, this is either a very good bid level or this is night market because since here, this is, I would say this is pretty frothy. All right. This is like the chip bid. If we lose this, it might be night market for a while. So I'm interested how we operate at these levels, higher time frame. Like I said, I think the easy moves happen today. It's why I've become less interested. Remember, our job is to trade when we've got like pocket aces or pocket kings or even pocket jacks. At the moment, right, in this area, the dealer keeps giving us pretty average cards, right? Maybe like a 3-6 or whatever you want. We don't have pocket aces right now. Pocket kings were probably here and here. And here was probably jack, and I tried it and then went to get my coffee and we failed. But this can still be a build out to go lower for sure. Until buyers can hold above this, bears are in control of the session. It's just that we're in a RBS zone, so you want to be cautious. Want to be cautious. All right, previous week value area high here again. We officially killed off the 18-day bull run today. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was needed. Is it wrong to assume because there is a chance of a very large shell of here that buyers will be more hesitant to hold positions? No, not really. Like buyers, we don't know what the whales want to do, right? We're not in the world of predicting. They can hold here. They're attempting to hold here, but you know, if they try and hold too many times and they become liquidated, then we have levels to trade down to, like we've talked about. We remember all we need to do as traders is read what's happening in the market and position our risk accordingly. That's all our job. We don't need to think too much more than that. I passed an Apex challenge, Alex. What's the best 2FA other than Googling I hate 2FA from Apex? What's 2FA? Is that the authenticator thing? Is that what you mean? What news makes the market choppy? I would say a lack of news makes the market choppy. Waiting for news is what makes the market choppy. Like waiting for earnings, waiting for FOMC, or having data which is contradicting each other. We're at war. We're not at war. We've won the war. We haven't won the war. The strait's open. The straight isn't open. So back under previous week value area high. This is the big level around here. If they're willing to sustain this auction lower, there might be a breakdown to these next levels. Like you can see, they've built out sufficient liquidity. This what matters now, these 50s. So they've traded from the top side down to these 50s. The question is, are sellers willing to sell 50s here? If they're willing to sell 50s, we can move lower. If they trade back above 50s, we're going to come and test the sort of 64, 65s again. These are like the same levels being rinse repeated. So the question right now is, now they've done the work, are they willing to do this? All right, or are we going straight back the other side? But your edge was up here, right? There's less edge down here right now. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's more likely to chop around. Here's a move to the 65s we just talked about. So they held the edge back to 65s. And if they reclaim 65, they're going to go right back to 90s. And you're just going to see like the back and forth keep happening over and over and over again until one side's stuck. We just have to let it build out for a while. I don't trade ranges, like you know. I don't trade ranges, so I let this build out, and then we make the next decision. Almost there, folks. Yeah, we're almost at 1,000 likes for a giveaway. Checking the news here. Jamie Dimon says he's worried about deflation. I saw that earlier. How do I stay up with the news? I need to do a Q&A, don't I? Financial Juice is what I use. You can use First Squawk as well. Financial Juice. You can use Bloomberg. You can use whatever you want. How do we enter the giveaway? I'll announce it when we've got enough likes. Do I realize I'm the GOAT? I'm definitely not the GOAT. I'm definitely not the GOAT. I think I'm a good teacher. I think I'm a very good teacher, and I'm a decent trader, but I'm definitely not the GOAT. There are some mega traders out there who will never teach you. They're just too busy. And I would say the best traders in the world are so analytical that they will struggle to how can I put this? Like make their trades understandable. So I think I'm a decent trader and a very good teacher, whereas I think the best traders will be horrible teachers. Not because they don't know what they're doing, because they just will struggle to make it understandable. Okay, still holding around this previous week value area high. We're just sort of stuck in this level like we talked about. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and nothing's changing. I think we're going for gap fill. Well, let me see what gap you're talking about here. You're talking about this? Is this what you're talking about? From Thursday to... No. Yes, you're talking about this. I assume. So you're talking from sub 990 down to 941s or whatever it is. That's what you're thinking, right? Maybe. Don't have to do it today, remember. They can leave it for tomorrow. Thanks for everything. Can I join Discord with the basic course Alex? It's with the 20-hour course only. Same as yesterday, nothing. Yeah, just sitting still at the moment. Yeah. I mean, we've had 2 good trades, folks. We've had, like, it's not like we haven't had the trades, right? You had the buy opportunity up. Like I said, there'll be I was looking for the squeeze up this morning to fade. All right. These were the trades. I think we took this, and then I had one more go there. I missed this, so it caught this part of it here. All right. We've had the easy money. The easy money was from here to here. The extension will be interesting if and when they're ready to let it go. It looks like they're trying right now. I'm going to start to concentrate here in case it gives us one more setup if we start rejecting and seeing big momentum flying in. So just give me a moment here. It's big seller coming in here at the lows at 25s. Big seller being absorbed there. Big. It's going to be a wiggle down here while they figure it out. I'll come back to the question shortly. Vic's trying to perk up here a little bit. So I will watch now if we start to reject 45s. Thanks for everything you do. Get your coffee tomorrow. Love you, mate. Hey, thank you, Top 40 brand. Appreciate the tip. I'm watching now to see. Last seller came in at 40s. I'm watching to see if we stay heavy versus 40 and 45 for a sweep and break of these lows for this move to the next grey box where we were originally looking at. Big buyers coming in here and they're not doing a very good job. They're market side buyers. So if I can get a pop here, I will think about selling the lows on momentum for the breakdown because we're starting to see it come in. I know it sounds risky, but it's just the momentum. But I need to see buyers get caught, we're just seeing constantly selling into them right now. So this low is about to get taken. Is there a way of getting involved here is the question now. 27,000, like we talked about on the newsletter, is on deck. A sweep of these lows, and we'll probably see a liquidation break underneath these into this grey box. So I'm looking for a pop-up to see if they are willing to fail around 40 to 45, somewhere around there. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to get involved, especially if we sweep these lows first, which we might just be about to do. And then you're looking for 70s, and then 50s is on the tape as well. So we'll see. So no sweep there, no sweep across ES either. So it's just absorption. I think it will probably come at some point. Don't think they're going to protect these lows like this. I think it will probably come. Let's see how we act here on the pushback up. Nothing yet. Waiting to see if we pop and then fail. I want to see these sellers at 75 and 62 walk down a little bit. This might be it. This might be it. Oh, you're not going to fill me high enough. They're still absorbing. I think there's a break coming here. I don't think they can hold this for too long. It's just whether there's a way of getting involved. This is the hardest thing right now because it's a continuation trade. It's shorting low of day. It's very, very tough. But if enough buyers get caught and we built out enough liquidity, we can get a new leg down. If. These 12s and then the 7,000s. They're still defending. Vic's still trying to perk. They're probing these lows here to see if they can get the break. Looks like it's coming. Remember, this is a big options level. There is not much below this in terms of options. I'm waiting to see if we come back up towards 40 to 45 and if sellers step in there. If they don't step in there, then there's not going to trade it down here. But if they do, they can't even get up there at the moment. Refill my coffee. This is grey box. I'm looking for it slightly higher. So I'm looking to see if we've now built all this, and we can do this move here. If they're going to let go of the edge of range, basically. If pops start to fail and they let go of the edge of range, it would be basically if pops start to fail, it will be an indication that the buyers are caught and that sellers are ready to really go for a break. And if they sweep before it, it's going to be very hard for me to get involved at this low of day, which we just tapped. We haven't had a clean break, so I don't think there's enough excess down there yet. I mean, there are sellers caught there from this morning, but it's not enough yet. Big buyers last piled in the previous 5-minute candle, and their average price is around 25. Those buyers. I'm still waiting. I might miss this if it doesn't give me what I want, and that's okay. Yeah, these buyers keep coming in at 25s. They're not getting the relief they want to 45s and 40s. Oh, can we get one more here? It looks very close. It looks very close. Check this M5. Imagine if the buyers want to trap sellers. Yeah, I mean, they can absolutely do that, which is why I don't want to sell right at these lows. I want to see how we react in this move to 40 to 45, right? That's exactly why I'm not shorting down here. Waiting to see if we push up and start to fail. Because 40 is the last big area that we sold in. There's an imbalance at 40, and there's another imbalance at sort of 42-ish. So this is what I'm waiting to see. If we lift up, if buyers come in, and if there's a passive seller that says, no, we need to break and clean out everything. And then at least I can get the move down to sort of 27K, right? So I can at least get 40 points out of it. I'm not going to short the lows looking for 5, 10 points kind of thing. So this is the kind of move. Now what happens here becomes key. If they reclaim previous week value, area high, then there's no trade, right? This is what they need to defend. A bid starting to show up here, trying to support this bid up. Reclaimed. So now we can go straight back to IB. So there's no trade here at the moment. We can go straight back up. Rejecting that next node. 62s. They poked a bit further than I would have liked, but I think it's still setting up here. So I still want to stay heavy versus 40 to 45. They just cleaned out a little bit above it for a 50% pullback. I'm still interested here. Buyers will want to protect 25. Failing to do that, I think we get a new low. So I'm watching for this pop now that we've poked through. And I want this seller at 62 to stop staying up there and come lower. The same with the guys at 100 being idiots. So I'm watching the tape here. A few guys walking down, not that many. Tape slowed down here. It's really slowed down. Buyer coming in here trying to support 44s now. Tempted to put a piece on here. There it comes. There comes the sells. It's a wiggle in here, man. I can show you Bookmap. It's a real wiggle in it. It feels very close. It's a wiggle. So buyers are supporting this node here. You can see where they piled in. We left some excess sellers underneath. Sellers are actually not willing to sell until up here at the moment. So rotation right now is from 25 to 65. I was looking to see if they wanted to fail here. They've poked above it. I'm still watching this area here to see if we start to come in here and sell it or not. That's what I'm watching. Again, sellers not walking down, adding higher. Waiting to see if they come down, if they just want to be like, hey, we haven't cleaned out the lows. We need to clean out the lows. VIX also coming right back in. Yeah, I don't think I want to trade this range here until they're going to show me that they want to do something with it. And again, I can show you on Bookmap how we keep adding higher and higher and higher. All right, they just keep adding higher and higher instead of these guys coming down and protecting this shelf here now, which if they pop this could be kind of nasty. I'd like these guys at hundreds to start trying to walk price down, right? We would like, very simply, where can I do a line? Right, we'd like very simply, right, this to start breaking down and these sellers to be back in the money, right? So we don't want these guys to add higher. We want them to come and join the tape to force it lower right now. Otherwise, we keep seeing absorption down here. All right, so we need these 40s to let go. It's the same level we talked about. It's basically this grey box and previous week value area high. These are the levels. All right, so they're having another go of selling these lows here. And again, buyers will just want to protect 27s. 27s to 25s. And I would say if they pop these 62s, they will get a little short squeeze because there's a decent amount of selling for the last 4 minutes and definitely for the last 15 minutes in this range. PA today is bullshit. Not really. It's been really good, mate. It's just like you can't expect. You guys just seem to expect giant moves all the time. Failing to break low, long opportunity. Failing to break high, second leg pullback. Short opportunity, build out of liquidity. New opportunity will be coming when we leave this liquidity. You can't expect this and this all the time. Okay, you cannot just expect it all the time. You have to let them build liquidity. We move due to liquidity. Oh, I'm just trying to help, man. Like I think you got your some of you, especially newer traders, your expectation of price action is skewed because you've had markets moving 25% in like a number of weeks. Like that's not normal. That's irregular movements. Okay, ES good rejection there of the 155s, that gamma level. So I'm still interested here. I just don't like what I'm seeing yet. It's very tempting to put a small piece on. Very tempting to put a small piece on here. Especially if VIX can start to perk. Again, buyers will want to defend these 27s and 25s. I would like shorts to defend previous week value area high instead of letting it back up to 65, which we're now starting to see. Here come the sellers. Now, can they break these lows? This sort of shelf here at 40s, 34s, 29s, and if we start trading under 25s, that's like a real positive indication that these buyers have run out of juice. Still seeing absorption here at the moment. There is a buyer just gobbling up these shorts for now. Once he gets liquidated, though, I think we go straight down to 25s. Feels like it's coming. Still absorbing these. This 35 still being absorbed. All right, seller joining the tape here a bit lower now, sub 50. He's still absorbing 35s. Non-stop. Once he gets out of the way, I think there's a little flush coming down here. Great reaction from me. Yes, here we go. Here's the flush. Okay, I'm in this now. Let's see. Please don't instantly absorb 25s and come straight back up to my entry. Yep, okay, fantastic. Well, I'm going to give it some wiggle. I'm small size. Come on, get under 25s. No, this fucking bar is relentless. I'm going to have my hands off. I'll leave that stop in and try and give it a wiggle. It is wiggling hard now. Either this buyer absorbs everything and we squeeze, or he gets out of the way and we will get a new low of day. It's 25's key. We're into this low volume node down here. Still absorbing the low volume node. Break under 25 and I think we see a new lower day. Seller's starting to walk down now. This is good. Come on. Get out of my way, mate. Why are you absorbing everything? Why are you so obsessed with absorbing this? Fuck off. Oh my God. It's literally barcoding here. I'm moving my stop down. I'm not going to give it room. He's absorbed a lot of tape here. I'm not going to give it room over 50. Big level. Plunge team working hard. Yeah, they are. Like I said, it's very risky. It's at the low end of a range. I'm trying to play the continuation based on what I'm seeing on the chart. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We eat the stop. They had a really good chance of liquidating him because he's been in there for so long, and then they instantly absorbed above 25 like that, pulled it straight back up. We're going in a range, so any break of 50, I'm out. So we're getting very close here. I'm not going to give it room. Small size. Again, can always get back in. This previous week value area high basically has to hold. The reason I'm being tight here on the stop is because we built a lot. Here we go. Come on. Please stop holding this 25s. The reason I'm being tight here on the stop is because of the shelf that we've put in up there now. Here we go. 25s. Come on. Let it go. 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 Here we go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Liquidate them all. Liquidate them all. Liquidate them all. Liquidate them all. Come on. New lower day, please. We're sub 25. New lower day. Right. Partial here. Let's see if we can run down to 27,000 and under. Oh, he didn't tell me when to get in. He didn't tell me. Shut the fuck up, Elizabeth. All right. Let's see if we can get sub. There's a 350 lot sat at 27,000, right? So we got a partial into low of day there. We just poked the lows. And we'll see now. He didn't tell me, he didn't tell me. Yeah, I told you. I told you I'm going to wait for this drive up here before I do anything else. Right, I think it's coming. 27,000 on deck. On deck. Here we go. Can we get 27,000? 350 lot, 27,000. Can we get through him? Can we get through him? All right, we'd like 25s to stay heavy now. Remember, that's where the buyers came in before. So ideally, we don't print above that. Then we have real confidence. If we print above that, we're coming straight back up to the 40s. Ideally, these 25s stay heavy and they sell the 27 down through 27,000. We do have divergence to NQ, to ES still. So here's the 25 check. We want this to be defended, ideally. It's going to make it much easier for us to look for continuation. Oh, come on, don't play games. Don't play games with my runners. It was another day where I can't get a runner to go by the looks of it. Come on, this is an imbalance here. I'm going to protect 40s now. It's basically my break evens. My break evens. I don't care if you're a student. Like, you're trying to call me out saying I have to show live positions and stuff. Like, it doesn't matter to me that, like, you've paid the course. I'm here every day trying to help. If you're going to question how I help, what do you want me to do? Like, not defend myself and be like, yeah, you're right. I should do exactly what you guys want all the time. So that means I have to trade on Ninja here, which means I can't teach you, which means you can't get Gex. Everything changes. My ability to draw and teach. Right, back up to entry. About to stop out here on the runners. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just... But this is my point when people are like, you don't tell me when to enter. You don't tell me, or maybe it wasn't you that said that. You wanted me to show my live P&L all the time. But this was called for you. I'm not going to enter down here. I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to partial out here. I'm going to look for this. It was all called ahead of time for you. This is what I mean about I try and teach. What's the point of me telling you that, like, oh, I'm long here, I'm short here, if you don't understand the whys? I'm trying to help, like, the best I can. I'm just a human being. VIX still perking. It's still looking for that break on VIX. 1877 is basically the line. 1877, 1885. It's perking on VIX. All right, and we're perking up here. I'm about to stop out on the runner again. Fuck me. Can't get a runner to go today. All right, back to previous week value area high. I'm out of this now. Not going to hold on beyond this. Can always re-enter, like I always talk about. Can always re-enter. Are we going to rotate last week's value or not? Do we save it for tomorrow? I wonder. That was the low. Maybe there's excess there. Maybe. Like I said, maybe. That's why we stopped out. Maybe there is excess there twice now. But we're still under previous week value area high. I've stopped out now on the runner. We tried to get it to go. It doesn't want to go. It might still come later in the session. It might come tomorrow. I don't think there's a huge amount of excess down there. I'm going to be honest. I don't like that triple bottom. It feels like we should extend that a little bit. But they are doing a very good job of holding that. There was a stop run down there. 123 lot. Actually, 259 lot short. What are these guys? Yeah, there's about 300 lot delta in front of the 27,000s, not 700s, down there at the moment. I'm unconvinced. We've had a go at it. I don't know if I'll have another go at it here. I know I said we can get back in, but we should have extended that low a little bit, and we didn't. And that's what we need to observe. What has happened is we didn't extend the low. And again, if buyers want to support 25s here now, they can react and go back inside. No, I'm not trying again here. No way. No way. This is too risky now. This is our first bounce short, right, after leaving range. That's the move. I don't want to have another go here. It's too risky in my mind, right? Because this is getting very compact here for this. So if I miss it now, I'm okay with missing it. I would now, like, for me to warrant now, we'd need to move under 25 and stay heavy under 25. So we'd need to move, for me to think about a continuation now, I'd need to see sort of this, right? I don't want to be in this area here that we've been at a lot now. Too risky. Yeah, I'm sorry if you guys don't like my answers today, but like, I think it's asking too much, right? When I'm trying to teach and provide a course and tell you where to enter and tell you where the exit is and all these things, and then you guys just want like one of you asking for live P&L, one of you asking like, I need to say exactly when I'm short and exactly when I'm long, which I feel like I actually do anyway ahead of time. I just think it's an unreasonable ask at this point. All right, watching these 25s again. I will consider this if we move under 25 and stay heavy. But I want to be very careful down here because this is the level now. Still the 25s bidding on. Same spot. This right here, this buyer, these buyers, these guys, excess under these buyers, they are still bidding on 25. That's why I'm saying I'm not going to short unless we get under that because they are all comfortable right now. They are not in pain, not even a little bit. OpenAI would definitely come out and defend their numbers. They already have. They did it this morning. They did it after the print. They came out and defended it straight away. That's exactly what happened. Right, I think a wiggle upside here is very much available now because they defended 25. So they're probably likely to come and retest the initial balance at this point. And if they get through that initial balance, what's the IB set? 64s, 67s, little low volume node. Yeah, somewhere around the 64, 65s is probably where they want to come for an upside lift now. Here we go. So they defended the 25s like we talked about. So they're going to attempt to come to 64, 65, somewhere around that. If they get through that, they're going to come and attempt to see if that buyer is still stuck at 90s. And we're now into lunch as well. So liquidity is going to get thin now. Don't see me taking a trade this afternoon. Maybe if we clear out. I will set price alerts. Let's think about this. I'll set a price alert up here. And I'll set a price alert under here. And that would be me for the afternoon, I think. I'll wait for it to come into some of those levels, if anything, if at all. Let's think about what we've had today. So this is what we're still looking for now. So we've had this drop. This was what we talked about pre-market. There's your 2 leg up. Reprice the H1, sell back down. All right. What we're now looking for is this going to set up? Are we going to reject previous week value area high for a rotation of previous week to previous week point of control? Or are we going to do this move here? All right, dip below, reclaim value, and come back up to previous day's value for an end of day squeeze. They can leave this move and this move for tomorrow. We can go sideways here and leave these moves for tomorrow. It's very, very, very possible. Very possible. Yeah, we're stuck. We're stuck. I think that's it, folks. I don't think there's anything else to do for this morning session. What did OpenAI say? What after the print? I have to find it for you, mate. But that's what gave us the little squeeze back up this morning. Let me find it. Give me a second. Struggling to find it now. OpenAI said its business is firing on all cylinders, says expertise and advertising businesses are growing. Yeah, that was straight after, basically. So they came out this morning as soon as the New York market opened and said that. That's why we got the rally in those Mag 7 names. Or a big part of it. Big part of it. Here you go. So here's the pushback up, like we talked about. So they held the 25s. You can see this failed breakdown down here again. All right. So they failed to break down here. They've held this 25 here where the buyer defended. All right. And they're looking for this upside lift. And if they get above this, right, sellers will look to sell top side of this. If they can't, we can reprice this whole thing now, all right, because we've been down here a little while. It's been pretty compact. And like I said, that's why I wasn't willing to sell here unless we came back under 25s for that last time round. Why? Just because of this guy here, all right? I could see him, all right? So if you think about it, he came in this morning, 11.35, protected. We've got sellers underneath now stuck, all right? We had the chance to sell down under. We took this trade here. We took from here down to under. We clean the stops. We're now supporting this move. I might have to move this up for you. This move here, this last check of this node, right, basically says, hey, buyers are in control here. They're willing to support the bid here, which means what? These sellers are caught, right? And then we get the upside lift into 65. This is where he said we'd come to. 65, you can see a seller's coming in here at 65. So the rotations in here, above 65, we come right back up to 27,090, 27,100. All right, so it's all about who's stuck, where they're stuck, as it always is. Nothing changes. It's how the market always moves. How the market always moves. Do I have those bubbles on Tradeify with Lucid? I don't trade on Tradeify. That's on NinjaTrader. But yes, you can get them on Tradeify, I think. I'm pretty sure you can get them on Tradeify with Lucid. Anything. In fact, you can get any order flow with Lucid. I'm pretty sure they're one of the firms who will supply it to you for free as long as you're trading with them. Again, there's videos on my YouTube how to do that. Okay, folks. Well, not a bad day. Not a bad day. Not a huge sell, but it was pretty decent. And you guys had the best move, this one here. That was about as clean as you get, this move here. That is very, very nice. We just have to see. Here comes the squeeze. We just have to see what we set up for later in the day now. No point forcing the trades, like we said. FOMC tomorrow, Mag 7 earnings, Wednesday night, Thursday night. We've come into that key level, the 27,000s. We're starting to hold a bid here. It needs to build out liquidity. Like I said, you can see the price alerts that I've set underneath 25s and up into VWAP and into this low volume node. I will wait for price to come to one of those before I think about doing anything else today. I'm not going to trade this rotation. I do not want to trade this. I will trade expansion, maybe recovery, maybe fail breakout back in, but I'm not going to become liquidity in here. Rule 101 for me. And yes, we go again tomorrow morning. I'll be here tomorrow morning. I'm not going to trade FOMC. I will trade the morning if there's a setup. It might be that there's no setup in the morning. It might be that we just do nothing, but I will turn up anyway. If the market's dead, we do a lesson, we do a giveaway, and we get out of there. How are we doing for the likes? I didn't even check that. Oh, we're at 1,000 likes. Oh, we are. Okay, we can do a giveaway here before we go. Let me set this up. Okay, smash FZT. Just type it once in chat. I wouldn't be surprised if we come all the way back up to VWAP here, honestly. It's been pretty compact down here for a while. Give you guys a minute to do that. Let me see. Here's IB. So if you're in this upside, you're probably looking for sort of 90s and then above that. Yeah, VPOC's 90s and then above that. If you can get going up into 117s, 120s, that's the areas I'll be taking partials if you took this long after it held 25s. All right, let's pull this winner. Don't dig people out anymore. I've said it once or twice on stream because it's me making a point of like how you need to listen to how I trade, not try and just follow endlessly for no reason. That we don't need to like go any further than that. All right, the winner is Jimbo V93. Jimbo V93. Are you here, Jimbo? Let's go. Nice, Jimbo. All right, I'll sort you out with a free Apex account. Make a note of your name. What you got to do, send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Let's do... Where's it gone? Let's do an introduction to trading giveaway. So just type course once as well. We'll do that one as well. Here we go. So if you're long, it's looking good. You want to be taking some profits into these 90s, remember. And then if you can get the squeeze out above there, you can come and fill some of this in up here. All right, so I'll be watching 90s and then sort of 120-ish. 90s and 120-ish. Those are your levels. Looks pretty good at the moment for that lift, I would say. You just came short of 90s. You just hit VPOC there. You're just shy of it. Right here. All right, it's big level. That is your level. Where's my giveaway gone? I can't find it. Did we cancel the giveaway? Oh, here it is. Found it. All right. 3, 2, 1. Psy 141. So SYYYYYYY 141. I think it's 3 Ys or 4 Ys. Let me know you're here, my friend. Nice. Okay, same thing for you. I'm making a note of your name. Just send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube and we'll get you set up with an introduction to trading course. Happy days. Yeah, that's it, folks. What would I be looking for this afternoon? Well, I would just be waiting for these price alerts to hit, really. I don't want to trade in this. So if I'm going to take a trade this afternoon, It's either going to have to be a base above this for a return in, a look above and fail for that, or a breakdown under here and a rejection for that bigger wash. And I'd imagine they'd need to put some new options levels in down here. Otherwise, we've taken all the key ones out. That's what I'd be waiting for. I would not be surprised for us to just do this all day now. I really wouldn't, given what we've got coming tomorrow, knowing how they like to build a lot of liquidity to use it into FOMC. That would not surprise me in the slightest. So what I'm trying to say is lower your expectations for the day. And yeah, we go again tomorrow. Yeah, same as always, like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. We make the plan in the morning. We follow the plan. We either make money or we don't make money. We get off. We enjoy the rest of the day. Peace and love, everyone. Don't forget, use hard stops. You need to be using hard stops. If there's a news piece that comes out in this market, it might really get price moving. You don't want to be the wrong side of it. All right, take care, everyone. And yeah, see you tomorrow morning.